Okay. Road closed after hit and run on Edgemont near Howard.
It was a hit and run. Oh no. One of those kids that walk up that road, but we don't have sidewalks. Oh my Lord.
Police are investigating hit and run with minor injuries in Greensboro.
So they didn't die. Thank you.
Thursday afternoon.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can't walk up on that street. That curve is dangerous. Well, hello, Facebook peeps. I forgot you were on. Carlene and I was discussing it was a bad accident. Somebody was hit. Hey, Bianca, let me bring you on. Well, let's see. Request, Bianca. I can see you, but there's got to be a request. Let me see if I can. Let's see. No result. Let's see. Virginia Wiggins. Hey, Sister Wiggins. Oh, my. No result. All right, let's see. She sent a friend request last night. I thought we were friends already. Oh, no. You did? Well, I thought we'd been communicating. Okay, everybody, don't go anywhere. Hold fast. I'm hoping. Hold fast. Let me see if I can make sure I befriend Bianca. Wait a minute. Without losing you all. I don't know how to do this. How can I do this without losing you all? I don't want to lose you. Let's see. Virginia, I love you, girl. Bianca, how can I go and accept? I thought I accepted your friend's request. How can I go in and accept the friend's request without losing you? Because I don't want to lose you. Okay, you're on camera. See if you can send a request to be on camera. I don't know how you do it. You can hit the little icon, one of the little icons at the bottom that's got a figurine of a human figurine, and see what happens with that. And see if because you can do that request, and I can bring you right on. Hold on, everybody. I do want to say to all of you that those of you that are listening that are not on, oh, you have no options to request on my end. Oh no. No. We're gonna fix this thing. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I don't know how I can do this. Okay, Dr. Bianca Lee, I did accept. I went on, what's the name of it? Messengers, and there's no way we can communicate on Messengers without me accepting you as giving you the friend request. So let's see. Hit the camera. If you see a camera, see if that'll work. Keep working it. Whatever you do, don't stop. And we're going to get this thing together, okay? Don't stop whatever you do. Keep trying. Hit the, can anybody help us out here? Hey, James, how you doing, brother? Let's see. How can we get Dr. Lee on. Huh. But while she's working on that, you keep working on it, because as soon as I see the little green light of the human figurine at the bottom of my phone, because I have a Android, that's the request, because it shows up whenever you request to come on camera. So we'll see. Huh. Keep trying. Don't. I know you're not going to stop, because that ain't in you to do. But while she's working on that, everyone, I want to read something, and which is coming from the book The New Being by Dr. Joel Bryant, one of my mentees. He's also a seer. Preparing for the emergence of the new humanity. Now, many of you heard the president's speech, the best speech he has ever given. That came out of his heart. I felt his heart with his head, and he spoke volumes of truth. We all know it. Many of the Caucasians know it. Those who are true Americans, not those who want to dishonor and want to take this country back and remove our civil rights, and not just our civil rights, because if African American civil rights are removed, repudiated, what you think going to happen to all the other people that are here with American citizenship, and you weren't born in this country, but you have citizenship? What's going to stop them from going in and moving and making laws and creating judges, as Donald Trump did, lined everything up with Jim Crow judges? A lot of them were Jim Crow mindset, coming off of the ideology of white supremacy, coming from the, I hate that term, white supremacy, but coming from the ideology of white right, coming from Brenner, if that's his name, how you pronounce his name, Brannon. He's the force behind Donald Trump. He's the force behind the mega. He's the force behind the attack on Washington. He's the force behind all of this that's going on. It's his ideology as well. And his ideology started way back when Jim Crow was ruling, and still been ruling. And many Republicans and black Republicans have elected Jim Crow. These are wolves in sheep clothing, as well as with the Democrats. Some of them are wolves in sheep clothing. A lot of your conservative Democrats are just wolves in sheep clothing. Look, the Democratic Party is a progressing party, whether y'all know it or like it or not. This country, democracy is what we know. It may not be all that, but it's better than what was, and it's better than what other countries have had. And you got the religious right of your evangelicals that are running and trying their best to nationalize Christianity. I'm going to read something. I'm going to read something from the four founding fathers of this country, whose names were on the Constitution that Joe Biden spoke so forcefully about. All right? And you need to hear it. You know, there are good people on both parties, but what makes a good person appears to be bad is when they don't speak up for what is righteous. And when I say righteous, I'm talking about the motive of the heart. That's what I'm talking about. What is righteous? I don't care about what the scripture says, because a lot of stuff what the scripture says is not expedient, nor is it lawful for you to practice in this country. Hello up in here. And to make the Bible the book that we all should go by means you are something's going on up in there, and all the you're not thinking. You're just believing, and you're not thinking. And believing don't require thinking at all. Believing is the least thing of your intellect that you could do, because you don't have to think. It doesn't require fact, neither does it require truth to believe. And then when you see something and say, well, if I see it, then I believe it, that don't make sense. Why see it and not know it? Why see it and not experience it to know it? Why see it so that you can believe it, which means you're still not persuaded. There is still doubt there, so you're still not persuaded. If you see something right in front of your eyes and you are looking at it, and the motive is pure that you are looking at, and you are looking at this, and you're in the present moment here, supposed to be, because you're seeing what is acting out. This is not a camera. This is you. This is you observing. And you see this happening. And you say, I just can't believe it. What? What do you mean you can't believe it? You're not supposed to be believing it at all. You're supposed to be knowing it because you witnessed it. Why you think Thomas said, I will not follow another Christ, another person, unless, if this is who y'all say it is, if this is Yeshua the Christ, then I want to see the hand. I want to see the prints, the spike prints in his hand. I want to see the spike prints in his feet. I want to see where the sword, where they rammed the sword in through his side. I want to see that. Then I know that's him. He didn't say, then I'll believe. And if they did put out, he said, then I'll believe. It's not the belief. That's European belief. It's not the type of belief or faith. Let me tell you something. That's a knowing. I doubt if he said, then I'll believe. Their believing is not like what the European defined as believing in faith. Not at all. Okay? And so it's important that Caucasian brothers and sisters speak up. No, I don't want Christianity to be the national religion. We don't need nobody's religion to be national, because more wars are fought over people's beliefs. You don't get in fusses and fights over what you know. You argue, fuss, and fight over what you believe. A person in military that have high honors, that's high up, and a person may be maybe just a little slight under them, and they engage into this conversation, and the person that's high up has access and privilege to more information, can follow the line, and have witnessed the information. And they are now communicating with the person that has a little lower rank than them, and the person says, well, I don't believe it. So the person with the higher rank says, well, it's not about whether you believe or not. It's a fact of truth. And I witness myself. I witness myself that this is true. And the other person says, well, I don't believe it. Well, you're in the military, so your belief does not qualify, nor is it quantified. Because the military don't operate off of what you believe and what you don't believe. If they did, they'll be turning the guns on one another. Trust me. Why do you think they have chaplains of all beliefs, of all faiths? They have to. Because it's a non-religious organization, and to nationalize Christianity would be the worst thing that could ever happen with this country. Yes, I said it. After 50 years of ministry, being a Christian since 1994, renouncing my pledge to Christianity. Hold on, everybody. Bianca, I still see you on what you call it, Messenger. But I tell you what, Bianca, if you don't get on here tonight, you will going to get on the following, and we're going to work this thing out. So, hey, Joanne, I love you. Don't forget to return. So the one that has a little under lower rank is coming from his belief and coming from what the Bible says. The military does not operate off of the Bible. Now, some of their war strategies may come from the Old Testament, but their constitution, their rules and regulations don't operate from the Bible. If they did, it would not be somewhat as unified as it is. Don't take my word for it. Observe it. Put some of your beliefs on the backside and take a look at it. Observe the thing. Many people go in there and try to make it a Christian organization, but it's not. Some of your generals may be Christians, but the military is not a Christian organization. And therefore, I would not vote, nor would I put money in, nor will I speak out for nationalizing Christianity. Christianity is basically a Caucasian designed religion. This is why Yeshua was deified and made in the Caucasian European's image and the European's likeness, and forced the rest of the world. Yeah, I just wish I could get you, Bianca. God knows. Well, everybody, she's still trying and I have tried, but we're going to get this thing. Bianca, see if you can try it with your computer. I know getting on the computer and coming on Facebook Live sometimes messes with the sound, but try it and see. And that might help a great deal too. So try that, your laptop. So no, I will not. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. Yes, I was a part of it. Yes, I was, yes, I learned, my foundation came from that, but my love came from my experiencing Yeshua myself when I crossed over to the other side without dying. My love about Yeshua came from me putting into operation his words, and those words worked. I used to worship him, but I don't worship him. I didn't know that I can still love Yeshua, the Christ, without worshiping him. As a matter of fact, ever since I stopped worshiping him, I became more and more aware, enlightened, revelation knowledge flowing. No separation. The separation is becoming less and less and less. The closing up the separation where I am one with source. I'm serious, because all the dogma that the church gave me kept me separated and kept me in a subconscious mindset of not being worthy, of not being deservable. I tell you, when Bianca comes on, she can walk with this thing, y'all. You hear what I tell you? Dr. Lee is somebody to know. So, but anyway, so the president did a wonderful job tonight. I felt his heart. I felt it through my heart. I agreed with him. And for those African Americans that are a part of this movement with Trump and what have you, listen, guys, we've always had African Americans to side with the enemy of us. No, I don't choose them to be my enemy. They chose me to be their enemy. I don't choose them. But the fact of the matter is, we've had a lot of our people to sell us out. So that ain't going to be nothing new. Okay? Just because they get a little piece of the money that the Republicans put out, because they're the rich guys and girls anyway, and they come out of the slave money system as well and maintain the continual economically disenfranchising the Black American population, the Native American population, and trying to disenfranchise the Mexican population. But they can't because there's too many of them and they all got skills. Most of them anyway. Oh, let me see if I can. Hi, Lakeisha. There she. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Oh, let me add. Uh-oh, she did it. Yeah. So while she's coming on, so I want you guys to hear what these founding forefathers had to say about, hey, beautiful.
Hello. Finally, my God, that was crazy. Okay.
Now, I can't hear you that well, that's for sure.
You cannot hear me.
No.
Okay.
And if I can't hear you well, others may not. Try taking it off of your headset and just talk through the computer and see what that'll do. Turn it off.
How's
Turn
that?
your headset off.
How's that?
Keep
How's
talking.
that?
Okay. That's a little bit better, but I'm gonna have to get close.
Really? Okay, so then I will just have to. Oh my goodness! Oh no! Oh my goodness!
Lakeisha, can you hear Dr. Lee? Let me know, Lakeisha, if you can hear Dr. Lee. Oh, okay. They can hear you fine. So I will just.
Really?
I tell you what. Where's my headset? Colleen, you got yours over there anywhere? The kind that I can plug up, because I had it here, on here.
Oh
yeah.
My goodness! This is sign that the conversation needs to happen. Whenever things try to hinder. Did you hear me? I said, whenever things try to hinder this much, that's when you know the conversation need to happen, okay?
You better know it, girl. I tell you what, you introduce yourself, and I'm going to run upstairs and get my headset and see what can happen, okay?
Okay, wonderful. Okay, you all, first of all, thank you so very much for your patience. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so very much. Everyone who came in, everyone who is here, everyone who will be coming back, we ask you first and foremost for you all to go ahead and share, like, comment, interact. You know what I'm saying? You already know how to do, you know how Apostle Clapp is. So come on in and enjoy and interact and things like that. I am Miss B. I am Bianca MzBee Lee. I am former recording artist. I am author. I am a certified master life and purpose coach. I am sexual and intimacy coach. I am a spiritual leader and all of the sorts. And I'm on my way to my PhD in cognitive behavioral therapy, and all of those things. So yes, we are here to have this conversation. And let me tell you something, nothing will stop purpose from happening, okay? If there's a will, there is a way, and you see we are here. We're going to get this conversation going today, right? That means it's going to be some good stuff in store. So you all sit back, enjoy, ask your questions, interact. I'm telling you now, whenever you got hindrances of that level to stop a conversation, you know it's going to be good, okay? All right? So I thank you all so very much for being here. Oh my goodness. I think I need to do some sharing too. You all share, okay? Share. There he is. Okay. Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yes!
Yay! Wonderful.
Oh my God.
Oh, we in there now.
Oh, we in there. I'm telling you. But so anyway, whatever I was saying before that, But Dr. Lee, I am so honored.
Mm.
Absolutely. And I love your hair.
Well,
Oh,
thank
that
you.
looks
You know,
good, girl. Oh, you rocking.
that's that good texture that came from Derek Lee and Joy V. Brown. Okay, so I
Now,
thank
who's?
my parents for this good texture
Oh,
and my ancestors. Oh yeah, they did a good job. I'm gonna tell you now, they came together and made what a good gumbo pot of goodness. Okay, they
yeah, I
did.
love it. It looks good on you,
Thank
too.
you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way the sisters looked when we were proud to
Come on.
be African
Come
American.
on, come on. And I am a proud African American. I am so
Yeah.
not proud of the blood that runs through my veins. And I stand there and I stand in it and I claim it. I proclaim it from the mountaintop. I love my blood. I do.
Hey, what the song say? I feel one of the old songs come, while the blood's running warm
Come on.
in my veins, oh, while the blood.
Come on here. Yes, yes.
That's one
I
of my
am
old
proud of
Baptist
my blood.
songs. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm very proud
Yeah.
of my blood. I'm proud of our features. We got some good features and all of that. I stand on mine for sure, for sure.
Well, you know, the president did, and we're going to get on the interview with you, but I want to read this because I was on a roll, and I want to read some of this right quick, and then I'm coming back to you because we can fill this in.
Absolutely.
Because your journey is really tremendous and remarkable.
Yes, thank you.
It really is. And I want to say to all the ladies out here, most of the women, for those who have not had any type of abuse from their daddies, sexual, strong verbal or physical abuse from their daddies, want to be a daddy girl.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just want to say to the ladies out here, you still can be a daddy's girl, and you're going to hear and find out. Just stay tuned. But let me, Dr. B, listen what Thomas Jefferson said about Christianity.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes,
Now, we know that Christians, the evangelical Christians want to nationalize Christianity.
Yes.
Which we know that's a sign.
Yes.
Of course, ignorant African Americans and other ignorant, people who are ignoring truth, who come from other countries, come in because they're Christians.
Yes.
All right. And they let them in when they say, yes, I'm a Christian. Don't realize what's going on, what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But this is what Thomas Jefferson has to say about Christianity. Thomas Jefferson, one of the original signers of the Constitution that Dr. Biden was talking tonight. Mm-hmm. Christianity neither is nor ever was a part of the common law.
Yeah.
Evangelicals, Black Christians, listen. Christianity neither is nor ever was a part of the common law. Christianity is the most perverted system that ever shone on man.
Yeah.
These are the words of Thomas Jefferson.
Yes, sir.
We know about his history.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Thank you.
We know his history with Black slave females, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Absolutely. Almost every signature on the Constitution, we know their history.
We know their history. Mm-hmm. And he spoke. He says the most perverted system. Mm-hmm. He used the term system. Mm-hmm. He didn't say Christianity is the most perverted.
He didn't say faith. Religion. He didn't say practice. He said system.
System.
Context is key. Words are key.
Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah.
He said system. And I want all of you all who are believers to hear this.
Yeah.
System. You have no understanding how you're operating within the system of Christianity.
Yeah.
You're loving the system more than you're really loving Jesus.
Well, because a lot of times, if I may.
Go ahead, you better.
Okay. So I had to do an in-depth study on this for myself. I had to, because I was born and raised in the system of Christianity.
Christianity.
Okay. And so naturally speaking, when we're born into something, we don't question it, because this is just something that this is what we do. This is just, this is what our family is. This is what we practice, and we've done this. You know, my mama did it, and her mama did it, and stuff like that. So we don't understand. I get on my family a lot about, why don't we ask the questions why? That question why will give you more answers. And 9 times out of 10, the answer will be, honestly, if we are honest with ourselves, if we ask the question why, 9 times out of 10, the answer will be, I don't know. Okay.
That's right.
Because and it'll follow with, well, because mama said it, or because that's just how we were when we were children. This is what our parents made us do. But we never had an actual valid answer as to why, or where it started, when it started. Like you said, and I was listening as I was trying to figure this thing out. I was listening to what you were saying, and it began. That was the beginning of the colonialism when it came down to this land, and when it came down to the conditioning of our people. We were conditioned this way. We were forced. We were forced to unlearn what we knew, and then take on what was given to us. Okay, that's what we were forced to do. And so the question that I ask my people is, what was it that we were practicing and knowing and doing before we were forced to learn something new? Once we get back to that beginning, the actual genesis of us, okay? The actual genesis, then we will understand where our power lies. We will understand, even in the Bible, it talks about death and life lies in the power of your tongue, but also it says that the people perish for the lack of knowledge, okay? Just because you said something key, and I was running and trying to find chords and charges and stuff, but you said it and it almost stopped me in my track. You said there's a difference between, just because somebody said something to you and you believed it, does not make it truth. The internet is filled with information, but is the information true? Anybody can upload. Is it true? We don't take the time to figure that out. And my uncle, continue to rest in peace. He just passed away a few weeks ago. He was part of my tribe that raised us, you know what I'm saying? And he gave us this understanding. In his latter days, in his latter years, he understood this. Even with you using the name Yeshua, you know, and Yahweh, you know, Yahusha, Lausha, Laua, like Lashua, you know, Yeshua, those terms, he understood. He came into his understanding right before he left this earth. Woo! And it's like, wait. We need to break. Where do we get this from? How do we get this way? Get to the root of the understanding. There, and all thy getting. Okay? Get an understanding. Wisdom is a principal thing, but in all your getting, get an understanding. Because once you understand better, then you will know better. And when you know better, you will know yourself better, and you will know what power lies within you, what was already birthed in you before you were formed in your mother's womb. You will understand what source you came from and what source powers you. Okay?
Oh,
and you will be broken from the chains that you, listen, just because we don't see physical shackles on our wrists anymore. We don't see physical shackles around our throat and around our ankles, don't mean that we aren't still in prison. It doesn't mean that we are not still slaves to the system. The system. Okay.
You got me in tongues, girl.
Break the system. Break the programming. Get to your source and understand what lies beneath. Okay? That's the thing. And that's where your power lives, inside of you from the very beginning. Not what was pushed in your mind, what was already instilled in your heart. Go there. Go there, because that's where truth lives. Go there. Okay? So, yes, I just had to interject that, but you go right ahead.
Oh, girl, we going. Listen what John Adams said. I got 2 more. John Adams, all right? This is what John Adams says. The government of the United States is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion.
Nope.
That's what John Adams said. Another.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen what Thomas Paine has to say. President Paine. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All national institutions of churches, whether Jewish, Christian, or Turkish, appear to me no other than human inventions set up to terrify and enslave mankind and monopolize power and profit.
And these are the signatures on the Constitution of the land that we call home of the land of the brave, home of the free.
Exactly.
These
And
are,
that's,
and they're telling you in plain sight.
yes.
They're telling you, but we don't see. We want to read between the lines. We want to say, well, I know he said this, but maybe he meant this. I know he said the sky is blue, but maybe he meant periwinkle. No, take it for. They're telling you what it is.
Yes.
They're
One
telling
more.
you. Yes.
One more. James Madison.
See?
Now you know James Madison.
Yes.
Religion and government will both exist in greater purity. Hear that term?
Yep.
Greater, the adjective describe purity, the less they are mixed together.
See? Wow. The less, the greater purity, the less they're mixed.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is what the evangelical Christians, Baptists, that includes Baptists, be it black, be it Caucasian, be it China, be it whatever, okay? This is what they've been taught. Well, not, they've been provoked to believe and not think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Been provoked to believe
Mm-hmm.
that the United States is a Christian country and it is the United States religion.
Yeah.
And James Madison just let us know purity. But I'm telling you, Thomas Paine, he really said it, didn't he?
Listen, it's oh
that's Apostle Thomas Paine.
Right, exactly, right. So with that, and it's so crazy because this is the understanding. This, we all know that this country is the way that it is now because it was built. They institutionalized slave, or they instituted slavery and colonialism and things like that. Not because of, you know, they wanted to build a pocket. No. They were trying to grow their pockets. They were trying to grow their revenue. They were trying to grow their status. That's all they were trying to do. Okay, 1619, that's when slavery began here. Documented slavery began because it was happening before then too.
That's right.
Okay, documented
That's right.
slavery began 1619 in Virginia. Honestly speaking, they brought the enslaved over from those other countries in exchange for food.
Yeah.
Okay. So they use actual live people, human beings, live, living, breathing, heart-pumping people as exchange, as a transaction. And it was made logical in their mind that this was okay. Even over in Germany, in the Germans, they wrote books about how our brown skin was a sign of disease.
Wow.
They wrote books about it, and so much so, this is why you don't just believe anything that you see, read, whatever the case, because they wrote these books, they made it, they rationalized this ideology, and then they put the books in schools, Ivy League schools, and taught it. Okay? Talk about the spread of the parasitic spread of misinformation.
Ooh.
And so there were then concentration camps and lab facilities where they did experiments on brown people to see, because they wanted to say that our skin was causing us disease, causing us dysfunction, causing us cognitive issues, all kind of stuff. Mormons, they said that the brown people were the ones that were left behind. That's why, and we were punished with brown skin. This is being taught. These are the ideologies that's being taught. Christianity started in the Roman Catholic times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the same Romans that extended the 28-day month to 30 and 31 days because they wanted to celebrate their birthdays even longer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they took it off of the lunar system, the cycle of the actual moon, and prolonged it because they wanted to celebrate self-centeredness and selfishness. That has always been, and greed, that has always been the root of everything that has perverted the system of Christianity.
And let's just call another system up.
Mm-hmm.
Patriarchal system.
Oh God. Now that's a European thing right there for real.
You can't have Christianity, you can't have Islam and any other organized religion without patriarchal. The patriarchal system. And that's what it is. And that's what it has been. Hey, Sybil! Ah, the seer herself signed on. Hey, Essence Yvonne. Hey there, fella.
Forgive my dog.
What's his name or her name?
Well, her name is Ivy. She's very
Ivy.
talkative. She hears any little noise outside and she's scared they come and take her mom away, okay?
Hey, Ivy. Maybe we'll get a chance to see you. Well, I tell you, this was good. I wanted to read, and I'm going to be bringing this back because I want people to get, now Doc, you need to get this man's book.
Okay.
This is Dr. Joel Bryant.
Okay.
One of my mentees, and he's a seer.
Okay.
This was channeled.
See?
Oh, stuff that's going on and what is going to be.
Yes.
This man, and it is written. Well, let me tell you, you may need your dictionary to go with it. Okay. He's one of those. He can't help it. He just can't help it.
Yes.
But you can get his Dr. Joel Bryant.
Okay.
And he got his doctors. He's a doctors of education.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I am just so excited. Now, leaving that, coming to you. Yeah. Your journey has been quite a, I don't know what word I can choose to put there, but I guess I would say quite a process.
Okay, yes.
For enlightenment. Because that's the purpose of process. You can't do nothing without it. Enlightenment comes through the process.
Absolutely.
And so your process has been tremendous. And so as you stated, let's see, you were raised in the system of Christianity.
Absolutely, yes.
And were you one of the church workers? And how was that as a little girl and as a teenager?
Listen, I had no choice. You hear me? You know how you listen. We gonna do as we told. All right, that's the conditioning of our culture. Okay, because I said so was the bottom line. Okay,
you're so right.
Ain't no choice. Okay, because
my daddy.
So that was the
my daddy had a strong backhand. So
right, and my mama did too. So listen, okay. Listen, don't mess with Joy's children, okay? She will, okay? But at the same time, and she's watching too. My mom, my dad, my aunts, they're watching too. So, but I will say, I was, oh my goodness, from 5 years old, I was singing gospel. I couldn't sing another genre, okay?
Wow, yeah.
I'm talking about even in school. Even in school, I had to do gospel for the talent shows and stuff. I wanted to do, what they call secular. I wanted to do inspirational R&B because I got a soulful voice, And so with all of that being said, I couldn't do the dance competitions and stuff because, when I tell you, listen, my elders were saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, water baptized, sanctified, consecrated, separated and holy, okay?
In Jesus' name.
Righteous, you hear me? So we had to, absolutely, I had no choice other than singing, using my gift for the Christian faith, okay? So I had to sing in choirs, I had to sing in Christian groups, I had to be a part of the youth choirs and the school choirs and all of those things. Like that is what I had to do, You know what I mean? I had no choice other than that. Or I'm not singing. Bottom line, okay?
Wow.
I remember I had, and this is not this is, trust me, my parents have come a long way from the system, okay? So they're getting more understanding now. So, you know what I mean? So everybody has their own journey and process. So,
Everybody,
you know, and they're on
everybody.
their own journey. But I will say they look back at a lot of things and be like, oh God, I'm so glad I'm not that way anymore. But when it came down to, I remember I had some R&B CDs and stuff. You remember the CD membership that you send in a penny and you can get 10 CDs? I used to scam them companies all the time. I said in my penny, they ain't about to buy nan CD, okay? But at the same time, I would collect the CDs and I would have to hide them. You know, the R&B CDs, I would have to hide them and listen in my own time and stuff, because I had such a love for the art of music. I'm a creative.
Yes.
I'm a creative. So anything, creativity, art, drawing, you know, singing, painting, whatever, writing, poems, I did it all. And so that was my way of expressing, but it was almost like it was kind of restricted a little bit, because you do it this way or you don't do it at all. You know what I mean? And so I remember even in drawing, I used to draw because the book of the Bible is what we were reading. I found chapters of the Bible and I just drew the descriptions of what they would detail. Because, you know, like Revelations, they gave great detail in you know, the three-headed, you know, beast. So so they gave me great detail. And so I would draw with the details that were given, you know, what I was reading. And so because I was limited, you know, but I always knew it was something deep in me all the time. I always knew that there was more.
So you had a knowing inside of you that was creating that cognitive dissonance.
Always. I always knew there was more. But I will say, my mom's mom, she was not the typical church goer. She went to church on special occasions like Mother's Day, Easter, weddings, and funerals, okay? So that's when you saw her at the church house, okay? Otherwise, she is in her house, all right? She wasn't the church goer. She wasn't that one. I think my mom and, you know, my aunts and all of them, they would have to say, well, mama, come on, you know, you got to come. And she wasn't really, church was not her thing, you know, because she was spiritual. She wasn't religious. My grandmother knew things that, you know, the masses didn't really agree with, or would have called witchcraft and demonic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But she was very tapped into that. My grandmother, she read bones. She used to keep bones all the time.
Wow.
Yes. And you know,
that comes from the motherland.
Now in my latter years, I sit back and I think about all of the things that grandma did with us. Like she played cards with us, not knowing that she was making us familiar with the deck of cards, which was the original tarot. Okay.
Sure was.
Okay. So even in slavery times, they would use playing cards as the reading cards, but it would be disguised to the master's eye, okay, as just them playing cards. You know what I mean? So they had to be kind of, you know, creative in hiding so that they didn't lose their original understanding of what source was, what spirit was, what the Most High was, creator was, right? So she always had us playing with cards. That was the one thing. My grandmother taught us cards for sure. I'm talking about but she was getting us familiar with the deck of cards. Now then she had the bones. She would always keep the bones. She would always tell us when we're eating chicken, and her children, my parents and my aunts and my elders, they're on the line right now so they can confirm. She wouldn't let us keep the meat on the bones. If we didn't eat all of the chicken, she would take the bone, finish the chicken, and would keep the bone. You know what I mean?
That's me.
So yeah, she said you got a whole. It's so much meat on that bone. You listen. Let me get this bone. And so the bone that I remember her.
That's what I do for my wife. I have to eat hers. Finish her bone.
Okay. I finished mine now because she taught us how to do that. But there was one particular bone in the chicken. She always did whole chickens. And I remember there was one particular bone that she kept all the time and she would have us to play with, you know, and she would share with us. And that was the wishbone. That bone. Okay. And she would always take them and she would clean them up. She would dry them up. She even took nail polish and would paint them real pretty, you know.
Wow.
And I always wondered, like, why is she doing this? It was always something curious in me that tugged on my grandma. I need to know what this lady know. And I was always wanting to be around her. I was literally up under my grandmother all the time, just pulling in all of this information. And I didn't know what I was getting, but I was getting it. And so she would give me she'll tell me to hold one end of the wishbone. She hold the other end, and we will pull, right? And whoever had the longest piece, you make your wish, you know, and it'll come true. So those are the things, you know what I'm saying? Those are the things. She was into horoscopes and readings and signs, astrology, you know, stars. She was into all of that. And again, when I would question those things, it was, that's witchcraft, that's demonic, we don't do that, that's sorcery, that's this, that's that. And I always wondered, I'm like, okay, so if God is the creator of all things, right? And we're to follow God, we're to worship God, we're to obey God, and everything that he made was good, right? So that means that the stars, the moon, the planets, the sun, everything that we're told to dismiss because it's demonic and witchcraft, aren't we dismissing the creations of God? Everything that God created has a reason. It has a purpose. So if I dismiss the stars, then I'm dismissing what the purpose of the stars are. If I dismiss the planets, I'm dismissing the purpose of the planets. So how are we okay with picking and choosing? Does anybody not see the disconnect here? And it always made me question, to the point where I was hungry enough to go and do the research myself.
Awesome.
Okay,
awesome.
My grandmother passed in 97, so I only had her for a small season, but I'm gonna tell you something, for the 15, 16 years that I was here, that she was here, and she imparted into me. She gave me way more than what I ever thought that she did, because that little bit of information carried me. And this is why it is imperative for us. That's why I went into Master Life and Purpose Coaching. It is imperative for you to understand what you're here for. Okay? It is important for you to not just think that you are merely men, and that this life is only about working, raising kids, being a spouse, paying bills, you know, and then death. No. There's a greater thing. The being a spouse, being a parent, all of those things are bonuses. You didn't come here to be a spouse. You came here to live out a purpose. Being a spouse is just a bonus. Being a parent was a bonus. Understand, you are on a work trip. You here with an assignment in mind, and you have an end to your assignment. So from your beginning to your end, you have that small window of time to impart into the people that you're supposed to impart into, pass this information on. My grandmother lived the life that she lived, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. She lived the life that she lived to give it to us, so that when she did transition, we can carry that information and carry on. Because her life, her good, bad, ugly, and indifferent, was imperative to my existence today. Because I needed what she had to complete what I do, so that I can give it to whoever else I'm supposed to be talking to, so that before I leave here, they're equipped with their tools to carry on and do what they need to do too. My uncle that just transitioned, I said this at his funeral. His life, he lived it for me. He lived it for me. He lived it for my cousins. He lived it for his other children and other family members. The things that he lived, they were imperative, because he needed to give me those tools to equip me with my journey in this life. So when he left here ready. He completed his mission. That's it. I did my job. I handed over the tools. Now it's up to you to take the tools and complete your portion, and then so forth and so on. You pass it to the next, and so forth and so on. That is why it's imperative to get to your purpose, but do not ever allow ignorance, simply meaning I just don't know. Don't ever allow ignorance to hinder your grabbing and obtaining of the tools that you need to complete this mission. Just because somebody told you to dismiss that. Are you supposed to dismiss it? That's the thing. You work as unto the Most High. Your job is not to please people or to follow people, okay? That's it. There are purposeful entities, purposeful people along your journey. Purposeful people, purposeful entities along your journey. And it's up to you to glean from them everything you need to glean from them before you carry on, whether they are there for your lifetime or whether they are there for seasonal reasons. Don't miss the gleaning process. Because if you do, and then they leave and you miss your window, then now you go to your next phase and you're unequipped, you're under-equipped. You see what I'm saying? So now I see death different. There's no more of a mourning for me because I understand that from spirit to the physical, back to spirit, never dead. I understand that now. I understand that you know, that it's more of a celebration and it's a gratitude. Thank you for giving me the things that you gave me, because now I can carry on more equipped and more efficient than I was before. That's what I see it as. That's what I see it as.
So as you begin to expand, and you're in church, because you've been expanding ever since you were a kid, thanks to your grandmother.
Yes. Yes.
Was it difficult for you as you are having these internal encounters, this conscious awakening moments?
Right.
Was it difficult for you to continue in the church belief mindset? And when you start articulating it, how were you received or treated?
Okay. So great questions. Oh my goodness. Was it difficult for me? No, because my family can tell you. I tease my parents all the time, and I tell them they still right now trying to figure out how to raise this child. Okay, because I've always been rebellious, so to speak. I've always been that person to ask questions. My mouth, my mouth stayed hot and lips swollen. Why? Because I always asked questions, and I never just took just your word. I gotta know why. Okay, so don't just tell me just because I said so. That's not sufficient enough for me. Respectfully, that's not sufficient enough for me. I need to know why. And it's imperative for parents. Tell your child why, so that they can understand. If you're trying to instill things, right, then don't just give them orders and don't tell them why this order is effective and efficient. Give them the why, so that they can understand why they're doing the thing that they're doing, so they're not just walking around being conditioned like your generation was conditioned, and then those generations before you. Tell them why. Give them the understanding of why, and have open dialogue, have conversation, allow that child to speak freely. Of course, there's a difference between speaking freely and being disrespectful.
Exactly.
Okay, but allow them to speak freely, because they have their own mind, they have their own train of thoughts, they have their own expression, they have their own, you gotta allow we're not making many us. We already got one of you. We don't need another one of you. Okay, they have things that are pre-programmed in them, the child. They have things that are pre-programmed in them that they have to become. You can't make them you. Your job is to learn what's pre-programmed in that child, so that you can cultivate what's pre-programmed and develop what's pre-programmed, not to change what's pre-programmed. Okay, so that was it. That was the thing for me. I never ever I was never afraid to buck the system. I'm gonna say that I was never afraid.
You are a true apostle. Yes, you are.
I was never afraid to buck the system. I was not. Okay. Did I get in trouble for it? I was called disrespectful so many times. I was called disobedient so many times, rebellious so many times. But I knew my heart was not to be that. I wasn't trying. My heart is never to be. I have a heart of gold, and that's not me being braggadocious. It's me being factual. I love people. Right? I'm a Libra. Okay. We are people pleasers by nature. I'm a five I'm a stellium, Libra stellium. I have 5 placements in Libra. Okay. So I'm a Libra for real, for real. All right. Okay. We are natural people pleasers. We don't want to have arguments and stuff. We don't want to be confrontational. We don't want to make people mad with us all the time. We want to extend ourselves and help people all the time, you know, and we help overly so to a fault sometimes. So my heart is not to be disobedient. I truly want to know. I truly need to know. So when I ask, don't push me away. Give me my answer. I need the answer. Okay.
Right.
So if you don't know, just simply say that so that we can learn together.
Right.
You know, it's a journey together, because that's all we're doing is really holding hands, walking each other home. That's all we're doing.
Exactly right. You're
okay.
Right.
So now, as far as the reception of me coming into my knowing, right, that I had a little more hesitancy and a little more hindrance from. Why? Because again, I'm a Libra. And I don't like to ruffle feathers. I don't want people to be, you know, disassociating themselves from me. And nope, she talking that hooga booga talk. She talking that doo-doo-doo-doo-doo pixie dust talk. No, she carrying rocks and crystals around. Nope. You know what I mean? So, but I also know that it went totally against what we were taught. And the majority of my family, if not all of my family, were raised in the Christian system. So to comment, you know, some people just don't like for you to tell them the truth.
You're right.
Right? Some people are so, cognitive dissonance is real. Okay?
Yeah.
Some people they are comfortable in their fog.
Yes.
And if you try to buck it, and I'm not talking about my family in particular, I'm talking about people, period, when it comes down to programming. Some of them are so comfortable and deeply cemented in the old or in the wrong understanding, that if you try to free them, I'm talking about you got a chisel, you got a hammer, you're trying to free them. You're trying, no, I love you too much. I need to help you get out of this. They will fight you and to keep them where they are. And at that point, you have to say, you know what? Because I love you and I respect your freedom of choice, I'm gonna leave you there. I learned that I couldn't fight anymore. I'm not gonna fight. But I had this conversation with my mom. It was maybe the top of this year. I said the thing is, because I am in my consciousness, okay, as I progressed, and this is gonna probably freak some people out. They probably don't know this, but I operate in this wholeheartedly and fully, these gifts. I am a seer.
Yes, you are.
I hear. Okay. I can taste. I can smell. I feel. Okay. I have been mounted by entities and energies before just to get messages across. You know, I'm a seer, whether I'm sleeping or whether I could be sitting right here and spirit drop something right there. It's like an astral projecting. I was telling my father one day, I was hanging clothes in my closet. And as I stepped out of the closet to grab another piece of garment to hang it up, I literally astral projected back into the past as a little girl. I saw it through my own eyes. I was wearing a white lace dress. I had pigtails because the borax was hitting me in my face. I felt everything. It was happening. It was like it was happening right in real time. I saw my shoes. I had on patent leather Mary Janes, and I had on some socks, some ruffle socks, folded down. I was running through the house that my dad was raised in, from the front door through the living room, the dining room, through the mid hallway. I remember it like it happened this morning, and into my grandparents' room. And I remember I was so little because I'm reaching at the top of a chest of drawers. I'm reaching and I'm on my tippy toes, and I even hear myself saying, I'm stretching, okay, to the top drawer, and I'm feeling around and I grab something, I smile, and I pull out, and what I pull out was a gold wrap Werther's Original. And I instantly, and I'm smiling because I done got this gold wrap Werther's Original, right? And I instantly snapped right back into the here and the now. And I said, what was that? What is that? And I remembered my grandfather, my dad's dad, passed when I was 12. But even prior to him, I was familiar with him, but I didn't know him because there was some inconsistencies in, you know, in visitations and all of that stuff. So we didn't really know that side of the family that well that we could remember at that age. So I wasn't around him to remember reaching in your drawer and grabbing candy. How would I know that? How would I know that? And so I called my dad and I told him, I said, do you remember that? He said, yes. He said, that's where Daddy left his candy, in his top drawer, all the way to the right corner. I said, why was that significant to me? And I kid you not, I heard my grandfather say clearly, you may not know me, but I know you. And understand that I'm still here. You may not know me, but I know you. And that was him reminding me, this is how much I know you. So it's those things. I am highly connected to spirit, highly. And it's not doing anything but expanding and advancing. Okay, I have been face to face with my higher self. And I'm going to tell you what, you think I'm fearless. Oh, my goodness. Oh my God, that woman told me, I kid you not, she says, do you know who you are? She said, do you know who you are? She says, ask permission from who? You are your permission.
Yes.
She says, if you want it, create it. Simple.
Yes.
I'm talking about, it's that type of energy. She said, this place.
Oh,
She said, this place. She says, money and government and greed and this place. And she says, understand who you are. Remember who you are. I'm telling you, from that month, that was April 24th, 2020. 2021. From that day forward, you couldn't tell me nothing. Oh, she also said, you have all the time in the world. She says, you don't bend to time, time bends to you. That's the authority that we have. And oftentimes when we're in this flesh and bones, we forget that we forget who we were, who we are already. This shell is literally just a shell. It's just something to hold your spirit while you're yet here to complete your assignment, because the spirit needs a body to do the work, okay? So with that being said, when I understood, okay, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, not a human being having a spiritual every now and again experience.
Right.
So that means that I need to spend more time with my spirit, understanding who I truly am, and not. That's why the scriptures say, "Be in the world, but not of it." You got to be here, but don't become here.
Right.
Be here, but don't become here. This is simply your work uniform. Remember that. Remember that. Keep it clean, keep it healthy. You know what I'm saying? But remember, this is not you, okay? This ain't you. The real you is who you are. Tap into that. When you start losing sleep because of bills, and losing sleep because you ain't got enough money to do this and all of this stuff, and my job, and they laying off, and I can't believe, and my baby daddy, and all, you are becoming this place. Detached from this place. Be here, but not of here. I had to remember that. My higher self had to tell me that. So with all of that being said, these are the things that I have become. I've already been. They were just unlocked.
Yes.
And I stepped wholly into that. And I told my mom at the top of this year, I said, I'm no longer hiding who I am. I said, I may not be agreeable. I may not be everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay. I mean, I will see everybody at the family reunion at school. You know, I can do the let you slide with everybody. It's fine. You know, but I'm no longer hiding who I am. This is me. And it's either you like it, you understand it, you respect it, or we just won't have interactions. And that's still okay too. I still love you, but I will no longer hide who I am, because hiding the things of me is being ashamed of myself. And I am not that, not in the least bit. This is me. So you love me, all of me, or you don't interact with me. It's okay. It's okay. I will not stop loving you. I will still be your child. I will still be your sister. I will still be your cousin. I will still be your niece. I will still be your friend. I will still be all of that, but I'm not going to hide my light under a bushel for nobody no more. I'm a stand in my gift. I'm a stand in who I am. And I operate that way 100%. And as a result of that, thousands worldwide have been freed, healed, you know what I'm saying? All of that. And they have been unlocked. See, that's the key. Me being unlocked helped unlock other people.
That's right.
Okay? We are holding hands, walking each other home. So when you deny yourself who you are, you're hindering somebody else from unlocking themselves. Okay? The people of the world are waiting for the children of God. How long will you keep them waiting because you're too busy worried about what other people gonna say about you? That was my freedom.
So as you continue in your expansion, I mean, we're talking about from a little girl.
Yeah.
And the religious system couldn't damage at all. Just really awaken even the more, because it forced you to say, why can't I? What's wrong with this? Why? With their beliefs, it just brought you into this now moment and asking why and going inside of yourself.
Yeah.
So you are very well and comfortable being at home in you.
I love it. I'm comfortable being at home in me. This is home for me. So anywhere I go, and I've lived in several states or whatever the case, and I've had nothing. I've had nothing in everywhere. Listen, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Everything every day ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? However, I am still at home in me. I think when you were interviewing Naomi, you read an excerpt from a book, and you were talking about the storm, right? And the peace in the eye. Okay? Being centered, being grounded. I resonated with that thing so tough. I said, my goodness, that is what being at home in yourself feels like.
You go ahead, girl.
Okay?
Say it.
It is being, you know that you're surrounded by a storm. It ain't nothing but turmoil, chaos. It's just, and that's what being here in this realm, that's what it is. This is a storm. We are in a constant storm of ebbs and flows, ups and downs. It's so bipolar, it's crazy, okay? But in the bipolarism, okay? In the storm and the chaos and the craziness and the just, there's still a peace that lies within, in the very center of the storm. Get to the center. Get to the center. And I have found my center.
Yes, you have.
I found my center. And I'm talking about whether anybody joins me. Of course, we love a good piece of company. You know what I'm saying? But whether anybody joins me or not, guess what? I am enough company for me.
Yep.
I found my center. Me and spirit commune on a daily basis. There's not a moment out of the day that I don't have my spirit and higher self and ancestors and and even my son. I have a son that went over is back home. You know what I'm saying? I'm surrounded. I'm never alone. I'm never alone. I am so.
When you said you had a son,
I do.
When you said you had, he's with you.
No. He's in spirit. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
How old was he when he crossed over?
Well, he was born on Easter morning, 2011, April 24th, 2011. And right after 5 minutes after he was born, he passed away. And it's crazy because I lost my pulse before, during, and after I had him.
What?
Yep. So the doctor it was either him or me. And when I came to that final time, I was watching the doctor put the lid, it was labeled pathology, on the bucket where they put my son. And I lost it. It.
Bless your heart.
I lost it. But I didn't understand what was happening then. Okay. But I will say my son right now today is one of the biggest cheerleaders and petitioners in spirit for his mama, for real. If he was here in the physical, he would be a major mama's boy. Trust and believe, okay? Because he all about his mama, all right? When it comes down to that, I even learned how to, again, my relationship with death is so different from the average, you know? I've never not been a mother.
That's an expanding consciousness there.
Yes.
I mean, it really is. There is no, it's not an either or.
Yes. Yes. It's not an either or. I shed my tears because of course we are
Sure. I cried at certain
you're
funerals.
Cry, you're gonna release
Yeah.
because there was a bit of an attachment to the physical part of that person.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so but it's very, very, we have to be very careful not to be so attached that we come undone when that thing leaves. And I'm not just talking about people, I'm talking about places and things as well. Don't be so attached that once it has to go, because everybody has, there's a time for it to live and there's a time to die. There's a time to come and there's a time to go. There's a time to cry and there's a time to laugh. There's always a season and a time for everything. What in tarot, that will be the tower. There's a building moment and then there's a tearing down moment.
Tearing down.
All right. So we all have those things. There's a beginning and an end. That's just life. That's a law. That's what's going to happen. So we have to understand that we can't be we got to be careful not to be so attached to people, places, and things that we don't understand how to release and let go. When it's time for that thing to be let go. And I'm hearing, and whoever's listening, that goes for people, especially relationships. I'm hearing in the realm of relationships. Okay. Some people are so attached. I'm talking about spirits talking right now. In the realm of relationships, somebody, particular somebody, but some people, a couple of people, you're so attached to that relationship that you actually have found your identity in that person. And if that person leaves, you don't know what life will be like, and you're scared because you don't have a life. You don't know life outside of this person. But because you have yet to turn your eyes inside of who you are, your life was predicated on this person being there. The sooner you detach, because your life ain't easy. You're going through hell right now, okay? As soon as you detach, let go, and allow that season to pass you. Everything that is trying to come to you will come to you once you make room for it to come to you. Because right now, that space is being occupied by somebody who's no longer serving you. Let it go. Let it go. And as soon as you do that and release, let it go, then what's supposed to come to you will be able to come to you, and it will have room to stay and reside with you. So that's for somebody. I'm talking about in the realm relationship. It just hit me. I just think the word across my whole eye. Relationship. Somebody is in a relationship that is detrimental to them, and the longer you hold on to it, the more you will lose yourself. The more you will be gone. How many of us have been in relationships where it was taking us out? I'm talking about, we look in the mirror and don't know who we looking at. We don't know the person. We don't know our ups, downs, likes, dislikes, because we're so intertwined and entangled with this person. You know, let it go. Release and let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And as soon as you do that, your freedom is on the other side, and so will blessings come pouring into you.
That's good. That is so good. Now, it is every girl has a desire to be a daddy's girl. Now, my daughter, she has no problem telling every male who comes into her space and want to date her, she has no problem telling them, I am a daddy's girl. And so, but every girl has not experienced that daddy's girl.
That's true. That's true.
Due to either imprisonment, due to death, due to, again, inappropriate behavior of abuse. either influenced in through by alcohol or some other type of drug,
Right.
in through by the abuse of the mother, abusing the child, or the mother lying to the child about dad, okay, to save her face.
Right.
Um, uh, uh, but you had a situation as it relates to you and your dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so was your dad always in your life?
We had a time span of about approximately 10 years of
10 years.
not. You know how the story goes when parents split. You know what I'm saying?
And before the physical split, they done already split.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, about a couple of years.
Yes. I having had marital experience, you know, I know that before I actually asked for the divorce, mentally and emotionally, I checked out 2-3 years prior.
That's exactly right.
All right. So it takes some time for the physical to catch up with the mental and emotional. So yeah.
That's where that attachment comes in, to detach.
There you go. Absolutely. A temporary matter becomes permanent when you don't handle it on a temporary season.
Say that one more time.
Temporary matters become permanent when you overlook and don't handle them at the temporary point. There is no issue that cannot be resolved. Outside of death, right?
That's true.
There's no issue that can't be forgiven. There's no issue that can't be resolved and fixed and restored. None. Problem is when we first see sign, we ignore it, right? That's just like seeing the oil, seeing a signal on your dashboard on your car. You see the engine check. Be like, it's fine. I'm good. I don't hear no noises. We want to wait till the car about to break in half before we actually go get something checked out. So it's those signals we miss. We miss the signals.
Right.
We ignore the signals because we and that's what happened. It's just a matter of wasn't really paying attention to the signals and stuff like that, and then it combusts.
So 10 years, your daddy was not in your life.
He was not
there.
About how
old were you?
I remember the final call. I remember my brother and I talk about this. We talked about this before, and we had a very healing moment with our parents in that, because we had to come to some truths, because we weren't told, the complete story and things like that. So from my age of 4 or 5, I want to say about 5 years old, and I remember it to this day. Okay.
Wow.
That final call, I remember it to this day. Okay. And then, but I remember the time span going, going without his presence. I remember that. And I remember, being there, being support for my mom. I remember, because it was hard for her. She was a single mom. You know what I mean? It was very difficult for her. And I remember trying to be a child, but yet not really being able to be a child, because my mom was feeling the way. She was hurting and things like that too. My mom had, she was having her emotions. She's a person. We're all individuals. Before we're parents, before we're spouses, we're our own individual self. And so you have those things. Just because you're a mama don't mean that they just evaporate like that. Father don't mean they go like that. So she had her feelings too, And so I tried to be of support to my mom as much as I could, you know what I'm saying, as a child, as much as I could. So did my brother. And so I remember, fast forward to about 15 years old, and I was at home washing dishes. I was the eldest in the house, so a lot of responsibility fell on me, cooking, cleaning, because mama worked. She worked. She would leave in the morning when it was still dark outside so early, and then she would come back until it was dark outside. So by the time she came back, she had to take public transportation, all of that stuff. So she did what she had to do. One thing about I always give shout out to my mama. She did what she had to do. Okay. She rocked it out and did what she had to do, much like any mama would. You understand what I'm saying? Now, but when it came down to my mom, by the time she got home, dinner should be made. The house should be clean. Homework should already be done. We should probably already be bathed and, all of that stuff. And plus my mom had the support of her sisters, and my uncle, the uncle that passed away. And I said this at my uncle's funeral, we may have had absences. We may have had inconsistencies, but we never had voids, right? Because my uncle fill the void. We weren't lacking a male presence. We just lacked the father presence. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it was definitely, I have to say that, because I wasn't, I wasn't damaged, you know what I'm saying, at the fact that my father, I didn't understand why, he wasn't around, but I also was okay. We were okay. Okay. So now fast forward 15, I got a call. I was watching This Is, and the phone rang in the house, the house phone, the ancient house phones,
The kind you had to go to.
And you're right. The one you had to go to that had the coil, the cord, right? They're now in museums. For the children that are listening, those phones are now in museums near you, okay? So I went to the phone and I answered it. I will never forget this call. I said, hello. He says, hey, Bianca. I said, yes. He says, how are you? You know who this is? I named every uncle. Yep. Not even, the first thought was not even father. I named every uncle. And every uncle that I named, he was like, nope. And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, it's your dad. And I remember silence, dead silence. Because unfortunately, like I said, and I have to be honest, again, we had absences, but I didn't have a void. So him calling at that moment didn't make me a hill of beans. I'm like, okay, what's up? What you want? You know what I mean? Because I'm not lacking in that arena.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, what's up? And so, and I remember being, and it breaks my heart to even just remember it, because I love my father. You know what I mean? But that's how cold I was. So detached from that. I really was. 10 years is a long time. Right?
Yes, it is.
So, especially for a girl, I was his
5
only
months.
daughter, his only blood daughter. You know what I mean?
Wow.
At that time.
Yeah.
And so, so yeah. But with that being said, fast forward, we ended up going to spring break with him, and that's when I got to see. I think I oh my goodness, it's so crazy just remembering this. I remember resenting my dad and his new family, because he had a new wife and they had children.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
They had adopted one, and then they had two others that they had birthed, together. And I remember coming, my brother and I, now mind you, keep in mind, I said my mother worked hard. She was not, she did not have the financial help, or whatever the case. And my mama worked hard. Okay. And we get to my dad's place, for spring break. And I see the driveway, you got multiple cars, his and hers, and doom buggies and go-karts and this and then the third. And I'm like, okay. So I'm just taking it in. I haven't said a word. I ain't said nothing. I'm just taking it in. Because I'm thinking back, my mama needed help with groceries last week, and we're about to drive a go-kart down the street, a doom buggy, a dirt bike. Okay. And then I look at the house, okay? And every child got their own room, and me, my brother and I shared a room until we was double-digit age, okay?
Wow.
And my mother slept on the sofa bed, okay?
Wow.
We had some struggling times, but I'm looking at the surplus and the abundance, that my father has with his new family. Yeah. And so I'm not going to even lie, it helped for not just myself and my brother, but we found out that we had 2 older brothers that we had not known about, but we were all there at the same time for that spring break. Said all that to say, my dad took us all on, and it brought him joy just to have all his kids around. So he's just in glee. And I respected that. But he took us on a shopping spree. He said, get what you want, get whatever you want, just go crazy, just get. And we talked about this here recently too. I will never forget. I said, no, I'm good. And he was like, you don't want nothing? No. Now, mind you, my brother, he like a kid in the candy store. He done went and grabbed every pair of shoes, clothes, whatever. You couldn't stop him from going crazy, okay?
That's
So, and I remember, my dad was a little offended by that. he was upset with me about that. He was a little defended, like, really? Like, I said, no, I'm good. I'm straight. And I never gave him a reason why. And then fast forward, we ended up coming to live with him, you know, for my latter year, I think my junior year of high school. So we were trying, you know, we were building back the relationship, because he had showed us during that conversation, because during that spring break, we had that heart to heart, that real hard conversation. We had that hard conversation regarding what that last call felt like, you know, when I was 5. And we conveyed to him what we were told. And so we got our mom on the speakerphone, and we had to cry it out. We had to get some truths out. We had to, because I'm not okay. I'm not a phony person. You know, I've never been a phony person. I wear it on my face. It's in my disposition. It's everywhere. So don't spit on me and tell me it's raining. Don't come here slinging money and taking us on shopping sprees, and you have no answer as to where you were for the last 10 years. I need to get some answers. You remember I said I'm the one that's going to ask why, where, what, who, how. I'm that one, okay? And I'm not gonna act like everything is good when it's not, okay? So with that being said, he had to give us answers, and he gave us answers, and we ended up learning the truth. And with that truth, we learned forgiveness. We learned love. We learned, it wasn't what we thought it was. It wasn't that. It was this. Oh man. So when we learned the truth, we like, dang, man. So all of this time we didn't have to be without him.
Wow.
All of this time it wasn't your choice to be without us.
Wow.
All of this time, you know what I'm saying? It was a whole different story. And we like, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me I could have had my father this entire time?
Ooh.
Oh, so I'm not gonna lie, my brother and I felt away. We felt away, and it took us a minute to kind of get over some things, right? Because we had to process it on our own. What life would have been like if we had our father. You know, again, we didn't have a void, but we were absent of him, our father.
Yes.
And it caused a soreness in us, because we thought that it was one thing when it wasn't, you know? And so I said, okay. So with that, we instantly had a change of heart, because then we were able to understand from his point of view. No, y'all, this is what it is. And when we had our mother on the speakerphone and it was confirmed, right? So now we're getting the truth. Great, awesome. Now we can start. This is our day one. So we gave it a try. Fast forward, we came to move there. And this is how different life was. It was a shocker, night and day. Because again, my mom, she worked hard. But we didn't have things. I didn't get a name brand pair of shoes until I was a teenager, you know, late teens or whatever. We had tennis shoes from Payless, and you remember Payless and all that. That's what we wore. We wore the, you know, what we would call generic or whatever. But today, I shop at those places today on purpose, okay? Because I like bargain hunting, okay? But now. Yes, because those same name brand shoes gonna touch that same nasty ground that this $5 pair gonna touch. Okay, so I'm gonna take the $5 for $200. Okay, now with that being said, I remember that when we first got there, and our stepmom at the time, she had laundered our clothes, and she noticed that. This is how much my mom did her best, but this is how much we lacked. Our underwear was tattered, and our t-shirts were tattered, and our socks were tattered, but we did what we had to do. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so we didn't complain about it. We just made do with what we had, right? So I remember we came home from school the following week, and on our beds were just packs and packs and packs of underwear, and t-shirts and socks and stuff. And I remember to this day, I looked at those socks and things like it was Christmas morning. Whereas another child would see it as, oh, okay, thank you for the new underwear. You know what I'm saying? I saw it as, whoa, like that was my name brand. You know, we had more than enough. To this day, I have double, triple the underwear that I have clothes to this day. To this day, because of that. And so, to this day, I kid you not, it's those things, those impartations, those little things that we really take for granted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That somebody else who's privileged and has it all, they see it as, oh, that's nothing. I saw that as, wow. And after that, that same person, that same, bonus parent, it was something that happened, and she asked for something and I couldn't give her something that she asked for, and the immediate idea behind, the statement that she said after that was, see, when y'all came here, y'all had holes in your drawers, and y'all had this, and y'all had that, and if it wasn't for me, whoop, 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 whoop. And you know what I did? From that moment forward, I went and got a job. I probably had, at any given point while I was in my dad's care, I was working, okay? Because that right there was the birth of me being independent, okay? Because you will never be able to do anything for me and then turn it around and hold it over my head and make me feel bad about it. So when I got my first check, I went and bought all her drawers and all her underwear and all her t-shirts, and I put them on her bed. And I said, now we even. I don't want to hear about this no more. And from that point on, I did not allow them to buy me anything after that. Okay? Because it does something to a person when you do that. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Yes.
so what's little to you is big to somebody else. And
That's
I
right.
saw those things. So the difference in, and then on top of that, I also felt a way about my dad at the time again too, because I'm like, Daddy, you see that this is happening, you see that this is not okay, and yet you're not stepping in to stop that. So I had a place in me. Moving forward, the more that I evolved in my own individuality and in my own spirituality and understanding and knowing, life happens. I understand that people, they only produce from where they are. You know what I'm saying? People see things from where they are and not from what it is. Fast forward, my dad asked me, I think it was 2010, 2011, maybe 12. He called me and he says, in what way have you suffered for me not being in your life?
Wow.
Right? That was a number of years after we had all reconnected and kumbaya and all of that. I told Daddy, I said, listen, I'm not going to have this conversation. I said, you know why? I said, because at that time, I think I was like 35 or something like that. I said, listen, Daddy, if I'm still holding on to stuff from when I was 10 and 15, I said, then that's my bad. That's my fault. I said, you did at the time what was in you to do. And until you evolve and learn new and do better for you, then that's when newness is going to come from you. Okay? It's not until you change will the actions that you do change. So I no longer blamed me for what you did. I'm not doing that. I'm no longer blaming you for how I felt about it. No, my own perspective on that is mine to carry. Okay. In order for somebody to take offense to something, you got to actually, it got to be action on your part. You got to actually take offense. You don't have to take it.
That's exactly
You
right.
see what I'm saying? So I understood that. At that age, that's when I understood, Daddy, I'm not having this conversation with you. I'm not going to help you beat yourself down. I'm not going to help you, bust yourself over the head for the things that you couldn't do. You didn't know to do at that time. You learn as you evolve, just like I learned as I evolved. Right. I said, now, I can't speak for your other children. I can't speak for them. But I said, for me, the price has been paid, okay? I'm not holding you in contempt at all, because I can guarantee you I probably did some things that other people probably saw was unsavory too.
So how was, in the process of becoming Daddy's girl, when did it hit?
It hit when I had a heart for him when the truth came out at 15 years old.
At 15 years old is
That's
when it
when it
started.
hit. That's when it hit. Because what people don't what no one around me understood was that just because, yes, I didn't have a void of a male presence in my life, but it is something about, I'm watching my classmates and all of them, you know, be picked up by their fathers and all of that stuff. I'm watching that happen. I'm watching them look like their dad. I'm watching them, you know what I'm saying, carry on like their father, or their father come to the teacher parent conferences and things like that. I was watching that. So as a child, I didn't have avoidance, but I did feel a longing for. I'm a girl, okay? I am a girl. And it is something about the father's love that cannot be replaced at all. And if it's not present, fathers who are listening, if it's not present, then that daughter is going to try to find it somewhere. Okay? And unfortunately, I had a lot of hits and a lot of misses when it came down to trying to fill that role, that fatherly role. I think that's probably why I'm attracted to older people now. You know what I'm saying? Because of the simple fact that number one, I'm an old soul too. Okay, so I ain't, you know, I was probably born 40 years old, but at the same time, it's something about that fatherly influence, that fatherly presence, that fatherly, you know, energy, that paternal energy that was necessary that I didn't have from my father. Okay, and I longed for that. I long to say, daddy, daddy, daddy. You know what I'm saying? Daddy, and it's not even daddy. It's not daddy. It's daddy. It's daddy.
Yes.
Daddy, daddy, daddy. You know?
That's the way my daughter says it.
So when I heard his side of the story, I immediately felt I felt sad for him, because I feel it now.
Yeah.
Because my father, if you know my father,
yeah,
he went through things. My father had a hard life. Don't get me wrong. They were choices that he made.
Yeah.
Right? But when I saw my dad, when I heard his version of the story, I saw his desperation. You know, I saw his it was like he was missing, like, I need my kids. I need my kids. And I wanted y'all, and I tried, and that's all I heard. Like, I tried, y'all. I tried. You know, I wasn't trying to stay away from y'all. I tried. I swear I tried. I saw the begging. I saw the pleading. And that's when I was like, oh man, he wanted us. It wasn't what we thought it was. And at that moment, that's when I had a heart for my daddy. It's like, yo, and to the point where even his previous wife, she used to fuss at me all the time.
Really?
She used to say, yeah, because me and my father have a relationship. We fuss and bicker like an old married couple, okay? But we do. I don't let him get away with nothing. You and me. However, and it's only because I love him, because I know my dad is a great man. And I can't let you slip on your greatness, man. I can't let you do it. I don't care what you say. You can be grumpy, a grumpy old man. I don't care. But I'm going to get you together because you would get me together. In love, I'm going to get you together, because you would get me together. That's what we're supposed to do. We family, right? You may not want to hear, but I'm going to tell you about yourself. Now, you need to fix this, okay? You done came too far to be turned around and getting set in your ways, okay? So now, with that being said, I saw his heart. I saw it because, again, I told you I was able to see. I'm a seer. I've been a seer. And I can tell BS from truth. And my daddy was transparent in that moment. And he wanted nothing more than to have his children. You know, some people they feel very incomplete whenever they're trying to reach and find love for themselves, and they can't find love for themselves. but they know they have children who can love them unconditionally,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
love from their children can help them find love for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it can.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what it was. I think my dad was reaching and trying to find love somewhere because it was hard for him to love himself. I need to find somebody to love me for me. Please, somebody love me so I can love me.
Yeah.
And when I felt that and when I saw that, at that point, my stepmother used to say, your daddy can do no wrong in your eyes. I said, and cannot. Problem. And cannot.
Boy,
No.
she hated when you came back around.
Listen to me. Okay. My daddy had got in trouble one time, and he was out of touch, but when he found my number and was able to call me, one thing about my father, he gonna find his daughter. You understand me? He gonna call his daughter. I don't care, again, grumpy as he wanna be. He gonna find and he's going to call his daughter. Now it's 4 of us. I'm the oldest daughter. But you know how if you got multiple children, you know which child to call for whatever the matter is.
That's
okay?
exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah.
My daddy gonna find his daughter. And anytime he's needed encouragement or motivation or hey, I just want to run something by you real quick. What you think about this? Even that, my dad officiated my uncle's funeral a couple weeks back. Okay.
Wow.
That was the first time he did it by himself. And even then, my dad was it wasn't like he was nervous. He was, intimidated, but that was his first time by himself. And so he sent me notes. Hey, I need you to swear to secrecy. Now, don't be telling my business, okay? And I said, no, I got you. This is how we talk to each other, by the way. And so he says, I'm going to send you my notes. Read over what you think. I need you, tell me what you know. And I said, okay, well, daddy, do this, change this. And plus, I'm a public speaker, too. So,
Right.
we can kind of, bounce off each other's mind. And so I said, okay, so change this. Take this out. And I said, really? You put this here? Take that out of there, And so we're doing that or whatever. And when I tell you my dad, he killed it. I'm talking about my daddy did his thing at that funeral. I said, Daddy, listen, you snapped, okay? He did. So I was so proud of my father. I'm talking about he did that. I had to tell him, I said, Daddy, you listen. And that was my first time as his child, okay? And I'm in my 40s. It's my first time as his child seeing my father publicly present, ever do a sermon, because my father, that wasn't his lifestyle before. My father lived a total opposite life. So for him to be up there commanding the room, quoting scriptures, saying what thus said the Lord, and I'm talking about it was a flow. I'm like, look at my daddy.
Oh, wow.
And you know what I'm saying? I was so proud. Even though we were mourning my uncle, I was so proud of him. And I told him, I said, Daddy, you did that. You did that. I even called my other siblings who weren't there. And I said, y'all, listen, your daddy, look, your daddy did his thing today, okay? I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
So, many times relationships break up, but the love don't stop.
Yeah.
Cause of anger, judging, and now we can control our emotions if we allow ourselves. So I'm not going to let nobody off the hook.
Yes.
I don't care what kind of woman she is or what kind of man he is. I'm not letting no one off. You can control your emotions.
Same.
If you allow yourself to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So many times, many people think it's over. Divorce done happened.
Yeah.
Water done gone under the bridge.
Yeah.
Done got a whole nother family.
Mm-hmm.
Mom may be dating somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy done married somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Got some more younguns.
Yeah.
May have had one during the time when you wasn't aware of it.
Yep, I know, right? Yes.
But it still didn't. But the fact that you want to be daddy girl because you were daddy's girl.
Yes.
And a breakup can mess that up.
Yes.
and can mess up your own self awareness and realigns.
Yeah, because I had to figure out the hard stuff by myself.
Yeah.
My mom was not the outwardly emotional because her mom wasn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
we
yeah.
didn't have that affection and stuff. So a lot of the hard stuff I had to figure out, like protecting. I had to figure out how to protect me. I had to figure out how to safeguard my heart. I had to figure out, you know, I had to be the hard one when it came down to interrogating the boys and stuff. And my dad even once asked me, why are you so hard on these boys? I said, to keep you out of jail. You know, you want me to be hard, okay? To keep you out of jail. That's why. So yeah, you're right. You're right.
So now the relationship is ended. I mean, a whole lot done happened. There's a change happened, a switch happened between your mom and your dad after all these years, and she just knew it was over, but she wasn't being truthful with her own heart. And your dad just went on with his life, because I know men will do that, because we're very practical. We're going to go on, you know, but we're not going to lie about what's there in the heart. It's going to be there, but we still going to go with another woman. We're going to have some more children. We're going to go on with life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The females want to do what they do and whoa and on and on and on, but not the man. We gone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So something switched. Now you're growing up with one parent. 10 years. Now one parent, hardworking. Yeah. Not saying anything about what took place. Yeah. Leaving it up to y'all's own recourse. And you know, I'm sure there was a time she resented him. She resented his ass to no end.
Couldn't stand his guts, couldn't stand the sound of his name or the voice or the tone of his voice. Okay.
And I'm sure you caught some of that resentment, because I know you displayed some of him anyway, even though you didn't know him that well.
Just like your daddy, you sound like your daddy, you know, all of that. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Now, because we got to get ready to end. Yes. But just be still. What took place? Yeah. What took place? Where you're now in the house with your parents.
Right, with my parents. Okay. Well, 31 years later.
Wow.
31 years later. Okay. My dad, he had legally divorced his previous wife. And they had 2 children, collectively 3, you know, with the bonus daughter and things like that in that union. My mom even remarried, and she had 2 children, okay, in her new marriage. But both of their marriages ended. You know, my mom's ended much earlier than his. So she, you know, she was locked in, you know. But when I tell you, 31 years later, my dad got back in touch with my mom. You know, he told her how she always had his heart, you know, and she did, you know. Yep. They rekindled, and I think May 4th made 6 or 7 years remarried.
What? Yep. After she released herself from all of that bitterness and judgment and trying to hurt him, but the whole time hurting herself and her children.
True.
She released that. And found the love that was still there. Yeah. And regathered. Yeah. And now you, your brother, and your other siblings. Wow.
Yep. It's 9 of us total now, children. Okay.
Wow.
All of us together. There are 4 girls, 5 boys.
Wow.
And now my parents get to live their happily ever after together after having healed, matured, you know, expanded, learned love, learned forgiveness, learned to forgive themselves. You know what I'm saying? And now they were able to grant each other a clean slate. You know what I'm saying? And then go forward in life anew. And that they both deserved it. I'll say that, because they both had some very heavy, hard lives. So they both deserve love, you know? They they
Oh,
both deserve it.
wow.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to say kudos to your mom and your dad
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
siblings.
Yes.
I would love to be in that house when all of you all are together.
Cutting
I just,
up.
I would love, and you're the oldest, so we know they all say she
The
thinks she's
oldest
the
girl.
boss.
I got two brothers over me, but I'm the oldest girl. I'm everybody's mama
Well,
though.
look,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I tell you, Dr. Lee, this was wonderful. I just want to
Yes.
say to the young ladies out here who are desiring to be daddy's girl,
Okay.
if your dad is still living,
Mhm.
what do you say to them in about 5 minutes?
Okay. So what I say to them is number one, understand that everyone has a journey. Okay. Who they were at that time of the hurt, that's not who they
Who they
are.
are.
Okay.
That's
That's
right.
an isolated event. They are
That's
not
right.
their mistakes. Okay. So
That's
try to
good.
go beyond the circumstance and see the heart of the person, what I call
Mm.
radical forgiveness. Okay. Detach the thing that happened from the person so that you can break down and analyze and dissect the thing, and then get back to the person and love the person. Dissect the thing, confront the thing, but still love the person. Okay. And so if you do that, then not only will you have that relationship still intact, but you will also be able to see you in them, and then they see them in you through the eyes of love and understanding and forgiveness. You will be able to see and have that dynamic still. There's a need in us for all of us. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been born to my mother and father if I didn't need intricate pieces of my mother and father.
That's
Okay.
right.
And so for the women, there are intricate pieces that you need from your father. So if he's here in the living, then find those pieces, reconnect, get beyond, face that stuff. Now get healed from that stuff, because if you don't, then you're perpetuating the disease to generations after you. So you want to heal, right? You want to heal, but also then go to the intricacies of that person, because each person has their own gifts and things. They got goodness in there, right? Get beyond the stuff and get to the goodness. Consume and eat good. Okay. Eat good from that person. Eat the meal that they are able to serve you, and be full and be great, in that sense, right? And get your things that you're supposed to have. Glean what you need to glean so that you are equipped, like I said earlier, with the tools that you need to carry out your journey as well.
Wow, that's so good. And I want to interject one thing. And if your dad is married,
Yeah.
don't make his wife the object of you not going after what you need.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Respect her,
Yes.
but go to your dad.
Come on. That's
Go
a
get
fact.
your dad. Go get your dad, girls.
Yep.
Go, and guys, go get your dad.
Yep. Yep.
Respect the woman that he's married to.
Right.
Don't make her the object
Sure.
of you not reconnecting and becoming daddy's girl, daddy's boy.
Yeah.
Go get your dad.
That's right. That's right.
He's still here for that reason.
That's a fact.
He's not gone. He's waiting on you. He's waiting on you. Forgiveness, I always say to people, forgiveness does not let that individual or individuals off the hook.
Yeah.
But what it does, it puts us back in fellowship with our own selves.
Yeah.
That's why forgiveness is so crucial.
That's right.
It's about yourself more so than that person.
That's a fact. It's so true.
And that's what it's about. It's never about, it's never about, most people say, no, I ain't forgiven. I'm going to, well, that's, and I hear what they say. I hear a lot of people who are considered themselves in the conscious community. But nevertheless, I also can tell that they are not single-eyed with themselves.
Very true. That's it.
Still separating and continuing to separate their own children because of subconsciously not aware.
That's right.
But this has been so good, Dr. Lee. I have loved this night, and I have waited for this night. So
Yes.
tell everyone where they can find you and give your Cash App if anyone wants to give a love offering or donation to you.
Awesome. Thank you so very much for that. Well, my Cash App is $ B as in Bravo. It's BB MzBee. So B as in Bravo, B as in Bravo, M as in Mary, Z as in Zeta, B as in Bravo, E as in Echo, E as in Echo. Okay, BB MzBee. Okay. Thank you so much for that in advance for all who sow into my soil. I'm telling you, it's good soil. It's going to return a harvest. Trust me. Okay. Now, with that being said, you all can follow me on my platforms. I am on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the same at Bianca MzBee Lee, BiancaMzBeelee. Bianca MzBee Lee on all platforms. You can visit my website at the same, BiancaMzBeeLee.com. Email me info@BiancaMzBeeLee.com. It's all the same. You can find me everywhere at the same handle. Okay.
Wow. And for them seeking your professional service,
yes,
they can find you at that website as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So give it one more time and give it slowly.
Okay. Okay. So you can visit my website at BiancaMzBeelee.com. Okay. BiancaMzBeeLee.com. And again, I do services of life and purpose coaching. I am a sexual and intimacy coach. I am a spiritual coach. Okay. And a business coach. So I help you through your business as well. I'm an author, so you can gather a signed copy of my book. Yes. And I also have gear and merchandise. I have purpose gear because I've trademarked the term in purpose, on purpose, 100% of the time. Because that's what I am, and that's what you should be too. All right. So I have gear, I have purpose gear, I have slides and notebooks and journals and things like that, mugs and all of that. Because I feel like, again, everything needs to be in purpose, on purpose, 100% of the time. Let your environment speak about what you are on. Let your shoes tell the story. Let your shirt listen, don't be wearing Versace, wear your purpose. Okay. Purpose gear. You can find it all on my website. Yes.
Oh, I love it. I tell you, you all, woo!
Thank you so much. You are awesome. Thank you so very much.
Yes. This has been absolutely wonderful. And everyone, she will be back. Trust me, she will be back. And we'll go into some more conversation, other areas and avenues of spirituality as well, and business, and how spirituality and business need to be in operation.
Come on.
And should never be a separation. So so we're going to, she'll be back, and we're going to talk about that. Y'all are here from Apostle. I call her Dr. Lee, Apostle Lee, because you really are. You truly are an apostolic anointing. Very much so. You are absolutely sent. Yeah. Absolutely. You really are.
Gratitude.
Truly.
To you. Gratitude.
Truly.
To you. Thank you so very much.
Well, this has been wonderful. I love you dearly. And we will talk again.
Absolutely.
Good night.
Thank you so very much.
Oh, this is so good.
Now, I don't know how to end it. Oh, there it is.
Well, let me close it out. Well, Facebook, I love all of you. I appreciate it. You know, the Cash App is there, $, PayPal, Cash App, $, Inner Growth Ministry, $, Inner Growth Ministry. PayPal is IGMO616@AOL.com. And for those of you that have Zelle, you can also use clappwayne@AOL.com. So remember, this is your boy. You know who I am, who I be. Affectionately, you call me Apostle Clapp, but I'm just Wayne. Remember. And so, good night.
You all have